what's happening? I got another video for you. So this one I want to talk about a conversation I had with a friend of mine. She's a female, and she was asking me if she was, if it was okay for her to talk to people even if she wasn't interested in them while she was doing her online dating thing. And I guess the trouble she was having was that she just wasn't feeling attracted to anybody, and like it was going nowhere. But this lady's been single for quite a while, and she was totally, I won't say obsessed, but every time we spoke, we only spoke once every couple of months. But it seemed to be that every time we spoke, she had this strong undertone of tired of being alone, tired of not finding exactly what she was looking for, but yet very, very certain and I don't want to say stubborn, but focused on the type of man she was looking for. She was looking for a man that was this type, who actually was this type, had this sort of worldview, had this sort of religious practice, if you will, had these certain talents. And I was like, man, you're really putting yourself into a very specific keyhole of what you're going to find, and you're really reducing your available options down to some pretty specific character traits. And you're doing it online rather than going to certain places where men like that would congregate. Also, the men that she was looking to date, or the kind of man she anticipated she wanted to be with in these character traits, those type of men weren't generally single. She was talking about a family-oriented man between this age and this age who did this sort of thing, who went to these sort of events. Let's just call them like church events, for example. But they were geared around, things like that. Most men who do that in that age bracket aren't single. And she had found herself right in that exact scenario where she was finding men like that, and they were not single. But they were still nonetheless attracted to her because those were the qualities she was seeing. And then she felt this moral disconnect with these men, because although she was attracted to them and they fit that description, they were not, being the fact that they were not single conflicted her moral compass. So then again, she felt like she was never going to find what she wanted. So I had this conversation with her briefly, and I used the law of attraction because although the law of attraction is difficult when you're involving other people in manifesting what you want, it's all about attracting the feeling that you want to get. And when you attract the feeling that you want to get, you will pull people who resonate that same vibrational frequency closer to you. And what I mean by vibrational frequency is there's a chart from the book Power versus Force, and maybe I'll put it up here when I load this video up, maybe I won't, if I can find it. But if not, basically what it talks about are lower vibrational emotions such as guilt, fear, shame. Those are lower on the bar of vibrational frequency. And the higher vibration you get, the more closer you get to, let's just say, like joy, love, compassion, and eventually you reach a state of what they call enlightenment. But so when you raise that vibrational state within yourself, it's almost like you pick up on other people and give off that vibration at the same time. So using the example that's been said before, if you take two guitars and you put them adjacent to each other in a room and you pluck the one string on one guitar, that same string on the other guitar will begin to vibrate, because that frequency of that string, that note, is causing resonance with the other guitar. And you don't even have to touch the other guitar. That string will just start to vibrate with the string that you did touch in this guitar. So humans are the same way, because we put out a vibrational energy, and that is felt through our emotions and through our state, our overall state. There's more tied to it than just emotional state, but it's your energy state. And the higher vibration energy state, the better you actually feel towards love, joy, enlightenment, those better feeling states. And so what I was trying to explain to her using the law of attraction, if she can elevate her state not by whether or not she finds this person she's looking for. In other words, not contingent upon what she finds in a partner, but by doing anything it takes to elevate your state. Once you get to that state, you will begin to resonate and attract people around you that are in that same state. So if she's feeling like she has not found the partner she's looking for, she's going to essentially attract people who have, and be around people who feel the same way. Does that make sense? It's kind of a basic principle, and it can go much deeper, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. And so one thing that I've learned and that I've studied from, this is a few years ago, I started listening to Abraham Hicks on the idea. I don't listen to her so much now, but it was very informative on how to create resonance and vibration with not just other people, but the world itself around you, is to start small. So let's say, for example, you're a woman and you really love to shop, okay? And shopping isn't gonna cause you stress by breaking the bank. In other words, you're able to go and shop and not feel a financial pinch. You're able to go and shop and not overdo it. Or let's take something other than shopping. Buying a new pair of shoes, if you're a woman, you don't need to shop, but buying a new pair of shoes really puts you in a good mood. So, and shoes aren't gonna break the bank, and so you go and buy a new pair of shoes and it raises your state, okay? And the reason I keep using breaking the bank is because a lot of times shopping can be a filler, if you will. I don't want to call it like an addiction, but it's doing something that fulfills, it makes you feel good. But if you're unable to financially do it, it also takes away, because in the back of your mind, you know that you shouldn't be shopping. So it's kind of this counterbalance. Although it makes you feel good, it perpetuates the negativity in your life, because it also causes you stress at the same time. So you want to try to focus on those things that elevate your state, make you feel good, without causing the back pedal, if you will, the subconscious back end, or the parachute that drags you back, even though you're kind of raising your state. It's almost like you're climbing up, but you're putting one foot down as well. So you don't want to do that. You want to try to do things that completely puts you in a progressive state, moving towards a higher vibration. And so really take inventory on this stuff. And if you have to write it down, that would be a good suggestion. Write it down. You know, pick a few things that you know you love to do that don't cause you harm on the back end, or subconscious grief, or financial grief, or anything that's going to cause you, stress, as a contingency for doing this thing. And so, some few examples, like I said, would be the shopping. Another thing would be, this is why exercise is a good one, because there's nothing really bad about exercise, unless you have like a bum knee or something like that. Listen, I really want to exercise, but every time I do it, it causes more stress on my knee, which makes me feel bad. Okay, well, then exercise wouldn't be a good one. But for example, in that example, if your knee was bad, you can still exercise, possibly ride a bike, go for a full body swim, things that are less impactful on a particular body part that is going to be affected by exercising or going for a run. Those are examples. Like, there's always a way to find something that will progress and elevate your mood without blowing the parachute out back to hold you, causing resistance to that forward motion, if you will. Anyways, that's something that I was speaking to her about. And so start small. So once you do that, I tried to explain to her that although you won't feel, it has nothing to do with actually finding that person in your life. It has everything to do with raising your vibration so that you don't have to find the person in your life. You will magnetically, in a way, resonate and pull those people with you, around you, close to you, that which the vibration you put out, you will receive. So anyways, a little informative thing. I hope that helps anyone who's kind of in a similar situation. I know a lot of people try to find that perfect mate, try to find that perfect relationship. And this is a difficult one, because once you find someone you think is fitting the description of what you want, then you get into worrying about, do they feel the same way? And so that in itself is a big parachute, a big anchor, if you will, on keeping the forward momentum, because now you have this query, this worry, if you will, or this question on whether or not it's actually real, or if they feel the same way. And so, in other words, you shift the progression over to this person, and now your happiness in finding this person, you finally found them, but now it's contingent upon whether or not they feel the same way. You see that? if you shift your contingency on feeling good to anyone else's frame or anyone else's kind of return investment on you, then you're going to stop the progression, and your frequency will stop, and you will stay right there until you refocus your vibration on an internal feeling rather than a reciprocatory feeling of getting something from outside of you to keep you going. Does that make sense? Anyways, if that makes sense, give it a thumbs up. If it doesn't, give it a thumbs down. Seriously, comment on this stuff. This is good. I love talking about this stuff. I've studied it for a few years, and I talk about it a lot with people, and I get a lot of feedback. So I'd love to get some of your feedback, and I hope that at least one person got some use out of this. If you did, thumb it up, and yeah, have a great day. Subscribe if you want. I'll be putting out a bunch more videos like this. I enjoy doing this. I have tons of them. I've only uploaded probably 1/100th of what I have, so the more you like, the more I'll put out. Put it that way. Mangione out.